little bit of, with a little bit of, let it just fall out. Give a little bit of, with a little bit of, let it hang all out. Give a little bit of, and a sprinkle of it, let it just fall out. I like it when you, girl, baby, make it. Stop pacing, time wasting. I got a friend with a hole in the basement. What? I'm just kidding like Jason. Unless you gon' do it. Extra, extra, spread the news. I can tell it took a two to lose the left zone. So I'm thinking if it in a side zone. Say she let it think about cutting the restroom. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Let it hang out. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Let me It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Bring the pants back, let it hang out. FBI, what's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, let's get it. All right, guys, so we're going to do a quick rundown on markets, and then we'll have Jim on soon, so just listen to me ramble for like 5-10. Let me catch up with chat, though. Good morning to everybody. OG viewers and new alike, thank you. Yeah, we got JimTalbot coming on soon. What's up, familiar faces? Thanks everyone for stopping in. Yo, Spirit, you're Chad. Thanks for the sub. All right, guys. I'm just gonna cover some quick market thoughts here, and then if there's any quick questions, we can go over it. But we want to keep it real quick so we can go ahead and get Jim on here. But yeah, so real quick, I've been bearish for a long time, but like immediate trade thesis is coming to a close. I've been short from hate to sound like a cringe lord, but literally the Pico top. And I've been unwinding it, and we're getting into the range lows now. So basically, the EV on being short is not really there for me anymore. So yeah, I do think that realistically, probably going to wanting to be switched to long bias temporarily. So just quick theses right now are, again, I'm still short from here, and I'm going to continue to keep closing it out. I don't really see any immediate signs of reversal just yet, other than just where we're trading within the in the range. So realistically, plans for me are going to be close out short on maybe one more leg down, and look for these guys to get swept, and ideally this. Get that steep sell-off, high volume reclaim, and start to get long to take it back towards, at the minimum, current comp low, and then, you know, it'd be lovely if possible. If I felt like there's actually any momentum to be sustained off of it, then that could end up being like the range reclaim that takes us to sweep these guys next, and that would be obviously lovely because we're talking about a gargantuan range at that point, 30% range. That's pretty much it for quick thoughts right now. I think that I think that being bearish is still the play from a mindset, but from a trade positioning standpoint, I don't really to have too much eagerness to be getting opening new shorts or anything right here. So TLDR is going to continue to close out the current short, and going to look to flip at some point. But the key is to just not be too early on that. Shouldn't volume be low for single prints? You can't really. Single prints are based off time. They have no bearing of volume, so you could trade through a void off low volume or high volume. Theoretically, you could have like fat liquidity there. Somebody chews through it. You trend up or down, and you get a single print that way, and that could be off high volume, or you could get a low liquidity push, or you get singles. So there's no relevance of volume on a single necessarily. That's the difference between time and volume, right? TPO versus volume profile. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to call Jim here, and we'll get a sound check and let the rants begin. Yo.
Yo.
Hey, man. Just quick sound check. Can you guys hear him? I can hear him pretty well. Let me know if you guys can as well. You mind saying something else real quick?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what to say.
All right, we got a yop, so we're good to go.
Yeah, you.
Jim a bit louder? I could turn him up. All right, man. How have you been?
Yeah, good mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. You've been like on vacation or something, yeah?
Not really, just actually leaving the house.
Fair.
Yeah, I've just been going to like concerts and stuff. So.
Yeah, man. That's the play right now. For sure.
It's been rubbish, hasn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, if you're not.
Am I in the bathroom? Is it complaining about? Hang on, let me close my window. It might be
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a closed space, kind of. He's underwater.
Is that
Okay.
better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay.
Double Jim. Surprised somebody didn't call it echo bubble or something.
I accidentally missed your first intro. I didn't hear you start.
Before you hopped on?
Hmm?
Before you hopped on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually good because I kind of like to have your take on things without knowing what I just said to them. So yeah, I mean, if you don't mind maybe sharing some quick thoughts on things, that'd be cool.
Sure.
You want to share screen or
Well,
you
I
want to
think
just
it
talk?
was.
You can do either
Hmm?
or. You want to share screen or do you want to just talk? You can do either or.
No, I'm happy to just talk, really. I think
Okay.
we're all looking at the same
Yeah, for
thing. I
sure.
think it looks terrible, personally. I'm short still from 22k, just above 22k. I've not really got a target. I'm happy to hedge it on the way down. I'm holding it as a swing trade personally. First swing trade I've had for a while. Because I think it's going to at least 18.3. So I'm more inclined to hedge and take longs to neutralize than to actually have a fixed price, price target. I think it's just ready to expand to the downside again, personally. Based on the move up and the amount of longs and buying and effort that went into the move up that got smacked, like I don't really see much reason for it to bounce now. I think it's just going to keep sort of the foot on the head of people that bought above 21k. Why is
Okay.
everyone complaining about my sound?
I was wondering if it was my mic was picking yours up and like duplicating it, but I have my mic so far away now that like it can't be my mic, and my mic's not even lighting up, so I don't know what it is. On my end, you sound fine, so I don't know why, according to them, you sound so bad. You're echoing. Fuck, it
Yeah.
must be my mic is picking it up or
Do
something.
you have headphones on or speakers?
I what if I do grab some headphones real quick? I just turned you down a lot. I'm wondering if that was the issue.
Hang on,
I
let me
think
listen to the stream.
honestly, we probably just keep pushing forward. I think I might have fixed it just now. As long as you're not too quiet. Oh, there we go. All right, I think I had you. They were complaining. Somebody said you were too quiet, so I turned you up, and I think I turned you up so loud that my mic was picking you up too. But anyways, I think we're good now. So,
Cool.
important thing is it's interesting to hear your take because we're very similar on the end of like the bias and positioning, but very different on the how you want to handle it. Like you're super confident that we're gonna keep going, and I'm not, and it's not because I really have one reason to think one way or the other. I just don't want to round trip my profit, and I just don't want to deal with hedging it. So I guess I get your point though. Realistically, you could just be looking for that long hedge right now, for sure.
Yeah, I've tried a couple already and it's just kept going down. It's quite frustrating, actually.
Yeah,
I'm getting a bit annoyed with how it's trading in regards to this. It's not trading how I expect Bitcoin to trade. It's so tied to legacy markets
yeah,
that I'm getting setups I'd normally take and they're not playing out because it's not the setup on the ES and it's just fucking it's annoying actually. It's annoying.
yeah. I actually had a tweet about that the other day that I don't think people really understood what I was saying, but I said something about how being a Bitcoin trader is literally being an ES cuck right now, where you have to ask, like you go, oh, I have a setup on Bitcoin, and you have to literally go and ask the ES and NQ, can I have this set up, please? Like we don't even get to just trade our own market anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so and ES is trading like a complete just awful. But I see so much weakness in Bitcoin that it's so like it really is like delayed by like a couple of like a few seconds almost into what the ES is doing. It's like some sort of skulking uh kid, you
look,
know? It's,
look,
it's like it doesn't know what it wants to do.
look at what it
It's
just did
pretty
though. It
pathetic.
just like Darth Mauled them actually.
Wow, it's
This
the
looks like
classic
Bitcoin.
stick open trap.
Yeah, actually.
Uh, but I don't know what it's going to do now. Binance is already aping hard, like 800 new longs. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. I just am not enjoying it the last few days, really.
Yeah, it's just a market where we have to be really, really um, patient and like decisive with which setups we take because if you try to be high frequency right now, you're just donating. But if you're really patient and only take like one or two good setups a week, there are still opportunities right now for sure.
Yeah,
It's like a what
like
is this
the
range like 10%?
yeah, shorting above 22 was like
Yeah.
perfect setup, really. Like no one was interested in it whatsoever.
Well, they were, but they were too early because they got stopped out. Like literally, the move up to 22K was like all people getting fucked. If you like look
Mhm.
at it right at the range low, it like consolidated. Where's a good chart to pull that up on? At least, yo, you know what? I can turn on my share screen actually, so you can just see that way. Hopefully, you can see that.
Mhm.
Where was it? Right here. Probably be better on like a 5 minute. This is like such a fuck you move right here because we're like trading right into the range high that everyone wanted to short. Everyone knew to short up here more or less. And we just got super tight right here and just blew everybody out. And like the OI nuke off this move was huge. So yeah, selling into this
Uh,
was the play.
I love those candles, man. And there's like I left. What's funny is I left a bunch of limits from like 22 all the way up to the high of that candle, I think. And I went to bed in like 10 minutes after I went to bed. It must have just filled every single ask I came back. Like, but like saying that. it's been like for how long was it? I was literally holding that short for like 2 days, just sweating as it
Yeah,
kept
for
testing my
sure. This
entry.
weekend price action was not really that fun to hold it.
Oh
Like,
man, it's
I
just
think
that's what's been
this.
brutal. I think I said it before, but the annoyance of price right now is when you really look at the microstructure and the small time frame candles, it really tricks you into thinking um, you want to be long. Even though it's an obvious short, like you'll get a candle that overwhelms three down candles, and it tricks you into like throughout the time of holding that short, I would have been more comfortable holding a long. Um, so
Yeah.
it's very much designed to bait you to make shorts puke and to bait longs into taking bad positioning. But yeah, it's just been
It normally
horrible.
takes, that's a great point though, because it normally takes a lot to worry me. And on Friday morning ish, or I think it was like maybe a half hour into the New York Open on Friday, we got this move, and this move made me sweat. I'm not gonna lie. I was like streaming when this happened, and I was just having my P&L on the other screen, just it literally evaporating.
Yeah.
And yeah, that it put the fear into me. But yeah, we held strong, and luckily we just got the clear rejections over and over again.
But that's been the annoyance of price action recently, is it'll test value area high like 10 times and leave perfectly untested stops below for days. And it's just like if you're struggling to break the level, just take the fucking stops. It's like so frustrating.
Well,
Uh,
that might be really just lining up with our bearish bias, though. We're taking our sweet time for people to be able to
exactly.
get out of it. That's what that is, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think they're leaving the stops on purpose due to the fact no one wants to fucking buy them.
Well, and
But I
it
think we've
just
got a
makes sense to
situation where
patiently
this.
exit right now if you have lots of supply still. I mean, you're way late to the trend, obviously, if you're unloading supply now, but still.
Mhm.
$1,000
I
move is a lot on Bitcoin nowadays in terms of percent.
yeah, but I think this is going to 18.3 before it like actually bounces probably.
Let's pull up a high time frame. There's any like levels, or is that like the bottom of the consolidation before the trend, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, like the before we omega trended.
Oh no, 18.3, 18,300.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. That's like yeah, the consolidation before we trended. Yeah, that's pretty
But
much
I
all we
just
have
think
left, dude. Be at
I
past
don't.
this, we have nothing.
This is why I'm swing short from taking a chance because I've not seen enough impetus or demand from buyers in this range to warrant being bullish on anything more than what we've just had. The amount of delta and buying that went into this insignificant bounce into demand, into supply, sorry, is like it shouldn't take that much effort to move the market up a few percent, in my opinion. So I think it needs to trap more shorts in the mid-term. Because there was quite an underwhelming amount of short liquidations on this move as well, which tells me buyers are struggling, basically.
Sure. Well, and like regardless of flow and stuff, it's just where it's not a sensible time for anybody to want to be owning this stuff. You can't make the argument of the inflation hedge if it's going down more than the dollar is and shit. So there's no argument to be made right now.
I was more than happy to short all of those Saudi memes as well, to be honest.
I was having a chat about that last night. I think that's one of the worst memes that we've ever had. I was
I
having a
mean, it's
debate with
just,
somebody that thought it was funny, and I thought it was literally one of the lowest tier memes we've ever done.
it's like clockwork, isn't it?
Sometimes the memes are funny though, you know, and like at least if they're funny, then that's fine.
I think it's baited a lot of people into shit positioning as well, to be honest. I think people actually bought into it.
Well,
Uh,
the 20 the first cyclers maybe. I don't know. I mean, if this isn't your first cycle and you're buying into a Saudi meme, then That's you should probably just be an investor long term, a 10-year horizon investor, honestly. I'm trying to check chat. We've been ignoring it. They've been going hard over here.
But you look at the CVD as well, and the amount it's taken to retrace this move relative to what it took to move price up is like it saves a lot. It saves a lot. It's really, there's very little bid side strength depth.
I'm gonna catch up on chat for a sec and see if that'll spark any good conversations. A lot of where to learn profile and things like that. Chimsu needs to be liquidated from the first time viewer. Let's go.
Yeah, I think he's like become a meme without realizing. Well, I don't think he realizes it. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Just fucking weird. Guy's lost it. To be fair.
Yeah, but it's an interesting case study because it's just like playing into the idea that like no publicity is bad because somehow people can be doing really stupid shit. Not just in our space, in like any space, and you get eyes on yourself, and that somehow is a positive. A lot of the time, it's very interesting. In my mind, it doesn't make sense because I want to like say something and have it be legitimate, not like be wrong all the time. But yeah, I guess I just don't get people sometimes. That's like the third question about Awesome Oscillator. They want a quick demo. Guys, basically like the main thing that you're using it for is just looking for strength when there's a trend. So I mean, the easiest thing is just like look for divs. And then from there you can build up discretion with like seeing how far it's pushing on to either side. So if you're in a bull trend, when you're moving to the bearish side of the AO, you want to see it failing to actually go steeply and stuff like that. It's a lot of discretionary stuff in my opinion, and divs. Basically, you can use it just like the RSI though. The difference is that the AO is a lot slower, so it gives less signals.
How do you handle getting chopped up, switching bias in the low time frame when it's like that? Just by holding conviction in what I'm seeing in the order flow as opposed to like but candles, like the candles. If I just followed the candles, I'd have closed the short because it was really baity. But when I look at the effort from buyers and the fact that actually it's not broke out to the upside, it's not invalidated me yet, it's just making me uncomfortable. Um, then that's how it was hard. It's hard this time. I'm not gonna lie. I needed to close it because I was just getting pissed off. I think I probably held it open out of annoyance in the end. Sheer fucking will.
Yeah, and also a similar point that could be made is just like how we were ridiculously confident in buying these things when they were going up a lot, and kind of have somewhat similar mindset with shorting it. The only thing I would say is that when you're shorting shitcoins, that you need to pay attention to open interest because you're obviously not going to get squeezed as an ape that's spot buying on alts and holding them for 3 months. But if you're trying to swing short these things, you can get blown the fuck out. But it's basically the same logic.
These Swedish alt stuff so bad. I can't believe how bullish people were last week. To be honest, like over unbelievable how like it just blew my mind. Honestly, Like it's the same every bounce, obviously, but this one seemed just like pure euphoria. I've never. It's unbelievable.
Do you have a screenshot by chance? They're asking for one. I don't really look
Of
at
what?
the CVDs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mostly use delta histograms instead of CVDs these days, just so you could see where like the high volume is more easily instead of aggregated.
I'll do it on Discord. It's literally like up on billions, down on 8 quid. Crazy.
Spots like 40,000 Bitcoin, stablecoins like 5 or 6 billion plus. Nice.
It's almost back down to where it started a few days ago on like 25% of what it took to move it up. Classic. But I just keep saying it. People every time I stream, it's like, are we close to a bottom? No, probably not. Like, you're just gonna torture yourself thinking it's like gonna reverse every week. It's probably gonna be not this year, to be honest.
Well, and the easy
Just
cliche advice to give them is just wait until this shit starts going up a lot and just start buying it. Because once it starts going up a lot, well, let me reword that. After it goes sideways for a long time and then starts going up a lot, it's gonna keep going up. If it starts going up like soon, then that's you don't want to be believing it. But if it goes sideways for a really long time and starts going up, just fucking get into it then. Honestly, you don't really want to be a bottom buyer. It's actually painful as fuck. I've been a bottom buyer before, and like, yeah, it's cool later on, but you get like chopped to pieces. And if you don't have conviction, you're not gonna hold that shit. So you're just gonna end up buying something and then selling it lower, within the range. And then 6 months later, you're gonna be crying.
you you know, just ask yourself, but the honest questions of like, do I need this shit to go up? Is that what my issue is? Like, a lot of people are like, they need it to go up. And it's like, if you need it to go up, it's not good. It's not
That's an
good because you
interesting
need it.
comment from the chat about the consolidation periods because we talked about this last time we were on
Mhm.
stream. If that logic is going to continue to play out, then this range that we're in right now should resolve itself. Let me word it like this: if the trend is going to continue, then the range should resolve itself soon. But the longer this goes sideways here, the more likely it is to be at the end of the trend, in my opinion. But I wouldn't lean into that. I'm just throwing that out there for that's what happens if it does keep going sideways. But
I just
interesting case
can't.
study.
There's no way on earth, in my opinion, that was the generational low. There's like no volume trade there. Like it wasn't one of those. There was no climax. I just don't see it. But I know what it feels like to buy a fucking a low. Um, the only thing I will say, caveat that is like the 30K bottom last year, whenever it was similar before we bounced. But
That price
all I
action was
see,
more bearish in a lot of ways, though. I
awful,
remember that
awful.
range that it was consolidating within was like, I don't want to use triangle memes, but it was like one of those downward facing triangles where it was like continuously making lower lows and lower highs like within the range. So that was like actually getting long down there was actually really hard in hindsight because
Totally.
structurally it was just absolute garbage. This structurally is actually like, at least this range is like a sideways range. Just playing devil's advocate. This structurally looks way better to me than if we scroll over to this, where it was like just this, like, if you're a straight up price action guy and had no like order flow, this was like, it's gonna go to zero when you see that kind of structuring. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see if this range resolves soon, though, because that would stand to reason for what we were talking about.
Yeah, but I just there's nothing in the footprint that in the order flow that gives me any indication that this breaks the upside. The people that have got more on the line now to lose are longs. So
Yeah, of course.
they've gone absolutely ape shit crazy last week. Like, I can't even believe it. I just can't believe it actually. Like, obviously I've been in the bear market before, and this one surprised me because obviously you get people calling bottom every low in a bear market. It always happens. But the speed in which people's buyers flips into bull mode after a little move this time around is alarming to me personally.
I would probably imagine, though, that last cycle it was probably exactly the same, where if you had a degree of experience, you went on social media. Because I was one of those people, I remember like buying into echo bubbles and stuff after the 20K top originally and just getting like obliterated and stuff. So basically, people just have to get their, you know, shit pushed in, and then they realize that you can't operate like that anymore. So I don't know. I guess that's how it happens, because I was there at one point, so I get it in that regard.
Yeah.
Um,
But I just every thread I see regarding bottoms and what's going to start a new trend, every thread is about when such and such stops selling. I haven't seen a single thread that makes the argument of such and such is buying. You know, what started 2020 bull run? Michael Saylor buying, Barry Silver buying, GBTC, they were buying. You know, that's what instigated the bull run because there was so much demand, so much buying that it was like the easiest trend of your life. Now people's argument is when such and such stops selling. It's like, okay, what happens when they've stopped selling? You still need an influx. You need an overwhelming amount of buyers to cause an imbalance. And I just don't see that in any sort of midterm. Like who's coming in to buy this shit?
People really should just simplify it down into when money's cheap, and when it's not, money was like the cheapest it was gonna get in
Exactly.
2021 and
People are
or
trying to
2022 or
People are
2020
trying to
even.
300 IQ their way into like front running something, but
While the
it's no
Fed's like
point.
talking about how they're gonna unload their balance sheet, or they need to,
Yeah,
tactfully decrease it, or whatever their wordage they're gonna use, aka dump on your forehead.
it's so cringe. So cringe. Like, I made the argument the other day, like, people are like, obviously, with this Saudi meme, Saudi's buying. I said to imagine, like, how can you be so stupid that, like, if you didn't buy during 2020 2021 madness, if you had sideline capital, then you're probably not going to buy now, are you? Why would you pass up and have your capital doing nothing during the easiest time of your life to decide to deploy it during one of the most difficult times that we've had in the last 20 years? It's like absolutely nonsensical. Like you just sat and wasted the easiest bull run of your life to buy now. Like, don't be stupid.
I think that that's far more common of a thing than we would care to admit. There's probably a lot of people that didn't really actually maximize the run the way that they could have, and now they're realizing that they're fucked.
Yeah. This guy's just asked, what's your genuine uh, um, opinion of Sailor?
Um, I don't think like the way that Twitter makes fun of him, in my opinion, is like nonsensical. You have a bunch of like people that have, you know, a paycheck in their bank account making fun of somebody. So even if he is making bad mistakes, it's still, you know, doesn't make that much sense to me. I don't know. I mean, I listened to his interview and I'm conflicted because he talks about he just doesn't care. So maybe he ends up maybe he does end up on top unironically and but it does seem like he's making some questionable mistakes. But at the same time, I can't really put myself in somebody like that shoes because I don't run a large business like that and manage billions of dollars of debt. So I don't really know how to answer it, to be honest.
I don't like him.
I know you don't.
He's a salesman. He's a
Yeah, yeah, of
salesman. He's
course.
not. His job is sales and building confidence.
That's what like
Um,
everybody is though, right? Like in every like corner of the financial like industry, they're all like every institution and stuff like I don't really think a lot of the time they have like edge unless it's like, you know.
they're trying to they're trying to extract money for themselves with other people's money, basically. But like the thing that always makes me laugh is like he's always when price looks like shit, he's always like play the long game, be a vision, look out, look at the broader time frame, and it's like you say that, but then you contradict yourself by absolutely fucking blowing your load in the first year. You know, like if he's got a 10, 20, 30 year time horizon, why is he not buying once every year as opposed to just absolutely shooting a shot? It's just stupid.
The only argument that would make sense to me for why he would buy in specific periods is because of the cost of debt. So their argument was probably that debt was as cheap as it was going to get, so might as well just yeet.
Yeah, but it's still fucking mental. Mm.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't
But
like
you
to.
only got to look at his track record. He's done the exact same play. This is the same playbook as he did during the .com bubble. Um,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, he's just doing it again. The guy's a fraudster. He got done for fraud, didn't he, during the .com bubble? For misappropriated funds and cooking his books, basically. He's claiming revenue that didn't exist to inflate his share price. Mm. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's just what all these people do, so I just don't, like, single any of them out because it's just the game. Like, that's like, isn't that the argument for why the GBTC like premium trade even existed that like people like Suzu were able to exploit? You literally open that trade up and then they're able to book it as profit instantly, even though they haven't realized a single cent of gain. They get to book it on as profit on their book instantly, and it inflates their shit. They like all do
Went
that
well,
stuff. It's actually crazy.
went well for them in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. Well, clearly Suzu and Kyle, they weren't good enough at being scammers. Clearly,
No,
actually, like, yeah, they were from a PR perspective, social media perspective. They absolutely like did a great job of it, but obviously they should have managed their money better. But incredible how some people were able to swindle so many people like that. There's definitely
oh,
periods where I thought, they were smart and stuff. They were ahead of the curve on what felt like DeFi, but in hindsight, it seems like somebody did that for them basically, and they just rode the backs of Arthur, is what it
yeah,
seems like now. But it
it's
looked like
amazing.
they were a part of it, so it was hard to tell.
You use enough big words, and people start to think that your luck is talent.
Yeah. Yeah, I there's a
Uh,
great quote. I don't remember where it's from, but I always say this that people can't tell the difference between arrogance and intelligence. So if you just go around and you just act smart, then most people will just perceive you as smart.
exactly.
Most people don't have that analytical skill to actually like hear a guy say something and go, did that make sense or not? It's just like, that sounded like it made sense, so it makes sense. Which is
Some of
quite
the
sad.
fucking tweets he came out with, like I really started to see like the bullshit. Like when he started talking
Yeah,
about
it's all hilarious in hindsight.
Revanchism, I was like, oh, here we fucking go. This guy's down preposterously.
They mistook leverage for genius. Yes, in fact.
Wants to us all.
But again, that like same thing is like we hear cliche expressions on that exact thing from the boomer markets, right? That same thing happens every time, right? Like Buffett has that like cliche that's like when the tide comes back, you see who's swimming naked. I think he's who said that, right? So that's just like common practice that people get ahead of themselves, they get over leveraged, and they get blown out. So just how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that normally, like a lot of market pivots and stuff happen off the top of those type of events because that's how you have um, huge amounts of equity or assets or whatever get handed over at fat discounts to people. Buy that shit for pennies on the dollar, and then run it back a year later. For all the guys asking about low time frame stuff, I'll like take a moment like in a bit, but where Jim's like talking about macro stuff, it doesn't make sense to pivot to the footprint.
I don't think the low time frame is particularly interesting either. I'm avoiding it personally.
Yeah,
It's a
but
shit show. It's an
people
absolute shit
think
show.
people have it in their heads that that's what they need to learn for some reason. And I remember being that way too, where I thought that's where I had to operate because I convinced myself early on that like that's where you have consistency. Because if you're higher time frame, you're inconsistent as fuck, no matter how good of a trader you are, with how much money you're making and losing and stuff. But with low time frame, you could theoretically be consistent. But if you're trying to be low time frame right now, you need to be in practice and learn mode right now, unless you're really experienced, because you're gonna get fucked right now. It's like really not a good environment to be making money. But if you're trying to learn right now, I don't want to, turn anyone away from it. This is the time to learn. Just don't die. That's the key.
Oh yeah, if you can be profitable now, when it does get easy, you're just going to be like
Yeah.
on automatic mode. Like you won't even need to think too much. That's half of people's problem actually. People think too much. Honestly.
Yeah, everybody thinks that they're gonna play like multi-dimensional chess and just game theorize and win. In reality, like being smart actually doesn't make you like stand out enough. That being smart is enough to win a lot of the time. And all like even in that's if you even are smart, which reality like I don't go around and tell myself I'm smart enough to just game theorize my way through this market and win. Because even if you are smart, there's just people that are just way stronger than your ass that they actually have influence over the market and you don't.
I think a lot of the time people think it's harder than it is. I don't know, like what am I trying to say? I had something to say then. Uh, like people people thinking it's extremely hard to make it harder for themselves. It's like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it like breeds over complexity and like overthinking and stuff. Going in with the mindset of it being really difficult.
Yeah.
So it's like a stumbling block before you even started.
Yeah, I think to build off that, like people go into it without experience thinking that trading is all about being really smart. And like right now, actually, if you're just like, this is the time where if you're more of a machine, actually, you're gonna do better. Whereas you probably wanted to be more of a human in 2021, I bet, where you just like rode narrative trends and just bet on whatever your friends were betting on. But right now is the time to be more of a bot, where you just make plans and see if the setups come and just fucking execute that shit without any feeling.
Hmm.
It's just not.
Uh,
It's
This
not easy to
guy.
get the
So
optimal longs and shorts right now. You gotta have balls.
I just want to. I want to critique this guy's trade. Because it might help him.
Okay.
This guy's long on the 1 hour RSI div, long from 19475. Don't know how he's managed to get that entry. Where's it traded to that price? Um, unless he's round tripped. Anyway, long from 9475, targeting 2363 as a scalp trade. Like, that's not really a scalp trade, in my opinion. And I think it's. I don't know. This seems like a pretty.
I would call that
Yeah,
intraday trade. There's a lot of
yeah, and I think
misconception
that's
around those
quite a. I think that's
definitions.
quite a greedy target right now. Personally, I think. I think like anything above, like the way I look at market structure, I think. I think anything above like 19,980, let's say, is like you're basically giving back probability in spades, like the higher you gain. So, like, if you were to target, let's say you traded 19,500 up to 19,980, that I think that's like a good probability trade. As soon as you target, let's say hypothetically, that's like a 70% probability trade. I think as soon as you target outside of that up to 23, I think you're like giving back 10, 20, 30% incrementally every $100 up, like to where it turns into a bad trade. Um, I just don't like that target. I think it's a bit unrealistic, personally.
Yeah. And also, quick thoughts on that. Looking at my chart, if like I don't even see how we got that. It must have been on a perp that must have got like had somebody get
Oh
stopped
no, he
out
wrote it
big.
wrong. He said 9745
Okay.
typo.
Either way, though, if you're getting in here, these are good areas to be long in hindsight, obviously. But if you're dealing with this drawdown and then like you're closing on this retest straight up, like I don't want to be that guy that tells you because it's gonna just pump when I say that, but like if you went through this price action where you got your move up, you're up several percent. Okay, never not several, 1.5%, 2%, and you're hitting into the value area high, you're hitting into POC, you're hitting into like the resistance on the day, supply, like the day's supply and shit like that. This is a loss of momentum on low time frame. Why would you ever be in the trade still after you have this price action develop? You're out after this. That's how I trade, at least, like every time. I don't, because I'm not going to care if it just giga chads up and goes up 5% more from there, and I'm not going to cry about it because I deviated value area low and took it back to value area high. GG. That's all you need to do. So
You're
not.
basically betting on a break of low time frame market structure now.
Yeah, and it's like
Uh,
sometimes it happens, like, and you're gonna be right, but actually most times it's not gonna do that, and you're gonna give back profit. The key thing with like scalping intraday is that you gotta refuse to round trip and give back your profit. When you're up, you need to fucking take that shit because
yeah.
you're going to give back profit, and you can't be profitable if you get round trips consistently.
Yeah, and like if you are scalping, the key to great scalping is to keep getting into the market. So let's say you are long from 19700 and you're targeting 2300. Think to yourself, how can I break that up into three highly probable trades as opposed to one speculative trade?
Sure.
Uh, so your initial trade is 197 up to 20K, let's say, and then it pulls back and let's say it consolidates at 19.9, and then let's say it breaks up, flips 20K. So you get back in, and you're in the same trade that you initially were targeting. So you're in again for the second leg of your day trade, and then you take that up to, let's say, 2200, and it consolidates again, and you break that one trade up, and it increases your probability, splitting it up into chunks.
Yeah. So the TLDR with what he just said with this current example, this could have been two trades, right? You get in long, let's say you don't even get a good entry, right? You get in long and you close it out on the reclaim play. And then you have the same play right here off of the value area retest again.
Yeah.
That's two trades. Like, people need to think something that people should maybe start to consider is how time affects the EV on your trades. And when you're doing anything beyond like lower than swing trading, so you're doing intraday or scalping or anything, the longer you're in the trade, the worse it is. Like 100% of the time. Like if you're getting good fills that are actually competitive fills that are gonna be profitable, then you want to be exiting them, and the longer you sit in that position, like the lower the expectancy on those fills now is.
Yep. So, and it's about, this is what Mag has helped me with initially when I first started trading low time frames. Is like it's about determining the type of momentum that's in the market. Is it, mean reversion is obviously where the momentum is going to drop off at the extremities, and then if you get the break from value, then you keep taking little scalps out of that momentum and you follow the momentum. Every time it pulls back, you get back in and you ride the momentum again until you see it drop and that kind of thing. Betting on having an initial bet on a market structure breaks like low EV.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another good point, guys. Stop betting on structure breaks and actually be a range trader by default most of the time. You're gonna
Yeah,
get
it
you're gonna have
breaks.
way
If
higher
you can
expectancy.
if you could spot it early that it broke that market structure, then you just get in and you bet on another leg up, or momentum up if it breaks that market structure. And it's where a lot of people go wrong with bottom ticking. Trying to bottom tick is uh, you never know it's a bottom until it's broken structurally.
Yeah. That's where the print tools and stuff are good because, like, for example, if you're trying to short a breakdown, you need to be looking at the other major derivatives. And if they're trying to short that shit with you, then it's a no trade because they're not going to be successful if all the other derivatives are trying to push. But if they're not trying to push and it seems like nobody's trying to push and it looks bad, then that's where you might look to take the play because you don't want to be on the same side as Binance, FTX, and Bybit all if they're all breakdown shorting, right? Or two out of three or whatever. Like they're gonna get rinsed back. You'll have a counter rotation. They get squeezed, and then you might break down. But it's never just easy like that where you just pump or just fall over.
This guy's
Real.
asking.
Oh, go ahead.
This guy's asking, do you think it's a bad idea to leave 10 to 25% to run with a stop loss in case it does trend?
Totally personal preference. Me, most of the time, not. Like I'm looking to you know, be flat on this. Because I realistically do think that the EV on being bearish is not as much there now. But, like, to just counter myself, like, if you do, like, catch the breakdown, like, that's going to be awesome, right? Because you're going to, who knows how. Well, one of two things is you're either going to catch a breakdown where all it's doing is just sweeping the lows, sweep these guys out, and then sweep these old lows, or you like actually get a real breakdown. And if you get a real breakdown, there's a degree of luck with being there for that. But if you're lucky enough to be on a real breakdown, you're going to catch a huge move. So, me personally, I'm not going to try to hold for that. But I don't want to say not to because that might work for some people. I just have never liked being a breakout trader. Like if I want to trade momentum, I want to trade on the side of the range that favors me. So like if there's a bull trend or like a bear trend because we're in a bear trend right now, I want to be selling always into the tops of whatever current range it's in. I never want to be selling into the bottom of the range. I like hate being that guy that shorts in the mid range or into the range low and then gets round tripped. Even if 5 days later it breaks down and you're right, I hate being that guy because that makes you susceptible to just pain and being punished and shit like that.
Me personally, my take on like the whole leaving 10 to 25 to run. I know loads of people that do it. Me personally, I think I don't like doing it because I think it tends to breed sort of just bad habits in other areas of like getting into this what if thinking as opposed to being really stringent with your trading. Like sometimes I don't care. Like I'll just close trades before bed out of discipline.
Yeah.
even if they've got legs. Like for me, it's not necessary. I think you really need to try and cut out that what if thinking in trading, because it could always do more. It's always a what if. So it's really about minimizing that what if and just really trying to capture what you can comprehend
Yeah,
and
that's a
bet.
great take from the psychological standpoint of how you're, going to be more methodical or basically being a gambler, right? What if is gambling. And what Jim is talking about, like, yeah. Like, I like those kind of rules too about closing things out when you're not there. I like to close things out for the weekend. That's partially why this short was so hard for me because I know I'm holding a potentially a risky short into a weekend. But the reason why I did it was just because I had been waiting for this trade for a couple of days anyways. I'm not going to puss out when I wait for it. When it comes around, I gotta send it. But yeah, I like those kind of rules about being disciplined. You want to go to bed, just fucking close your short out, or close out your positions if they're low time frame. Just be flat and get a good night's rest, and come back and do it again.
It's like we'll go back to that guy's trade. If I longed 19.7 and I'm looking at taking profit here, let's say 19.9. Yeah, but I'm thinking, what if I leave 10% on in case it does go to 23? My rule set is no, I'm going to take profit where I said I was going to take profit right here. If it flips the daily open, let's say, because that's like where we are, consolidates, then I'll reopen the same position and we'll target higher. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of what, 7
What if's a dangerous thing? I mean, like,
it is, because you just start to get these dreamy ideas in your head.
I wanna segregate two different types of what ifs though. There's the what if I'm gonna have this exponential move that changes things for me, right? Though that kind of what if is a problem. But the just to counter it, there is like the what if of what if we trade into this level and it gets rejected. What do we do? That type of what if is essential. I do that type of what if every day, all day, where I look at the charts and go, if we trade here, I think we might do this. So then I have the rough plan, and that's like I would miss every trade otherwise if I didn't do that, because that's how I know, roughly what I should be trying to do as something develops. Just to yeah. But yeah, the what if it happens to my account balance type of stuff, you want to erase that from your vocabulary and only do the what if we trade into this level.
It's just what if my wife didn't leave me?
Yeah, there was a good one earlier when you said something about I know how to buy into a climax, and somebody was like I like something about like I know how to not ever get a climax or something.
uh,
Asking me was his question. He talked about long from 1st of July. I don't think I was long for this. Um, I took some like lower time frame trades for this move up, but I didn't like have like a range trade on it. I did have like a couple trades, but nothing like my short. I'm actually trying to trade range to range, but on this, I definitely did not have that type of trade. So I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I said that on stream last time that I was trying to. Maybe I don't know. I didn't actually catch this up move though, mostly. But you don't need to when you just catch the down move.
well, this is it. Like the up moves are quite cringe how they're playing out relative to like you really get a sense of like the friction and non-friction of each move, and you can just tell like that when that bid stops, the market moves naturally which way it wants to go. Like it's very clean and flowing, like how it's moving down. Whereas when it's moving up, it's choppy, it's grindy, it's unpleasant. Uh, so the market does have like a natural direction it wants to go.
That has 100% to do with like the passive side, like we were just talking, right? When we're going up, we have all the supply, so we're slowly hitting into supply over and over again so we can fill some of it. And then on the way down, that passive side doesn't really exist the same way. So we just glide right down. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. It just, the
it
only
is.
downside to it is it makes shorting potentially somewhat sweaty sometimes, where you're a little nervous earlier on.
Yeah, but it's it's no different to a bull trend. Like sometimes you
Yeah,
just
for
gotta
sure.
trust the drawdown.
Yeah, that's what we were just. I've been talking about that in the Paragon. Like, I put so much more size and emphasis in all my shorts because even though we're late in, it does feel like we're probably late into the trend and stuff. It's like the same thing as shoving long on 50K. Like we trade down into 50K back a year ago. Like you longed that shit, so it's the same thing.
See, target for Bitcoin is 24K. Yeah, I don't agree with, but you know, still my friend. I haven't agreed with him for a few days, but it's part of trading, isn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I
Especially with
think
SC because he's a good trader. So
Well, and people in chat should probably realize that traders aren't friends with each other so that you can like copy trade each other or make sure your biases line up and stuff. You do it just because you relate to them and you have similar, personalities and experiences and stuff. Most people that are actually good at trading probably don't care that much about what their friends think. It's certainly with something like
hey,
Bitcoin or not. Like I always make the argument that it matters. Like if your boy comes and tells you about we're in a bull trend, and your friend comes and tells you about some altcoin, go and figure out whatever that altcoin is probably. But if
exactly.
like somebody says something about Bitcoin, like I don't care. I'm just gonna do my thing.
I will counter trade anyone gladly. I have no care in the world. But if Eric or Charlie tells me about an altcoin with a 5 mil market cap, I'm probably gonna chuck a few quid at it.
Yeah, we don't fade Charlie picks because it
Oh,
only
Eric,
takes
Eric,
one to be a
Eric picked me some
Shiba.
bangers.
Yeah, I did. I faded him way too much, to be honest. I was
He
just
caught
not good
Axie at
early
like
on with
I
the
don't know what.
altcoin degenning. I tried to be like responsible and like I'm gonna buy blue chip altcoins, which early on in the trend, well, it really worked, but later on, well, unironically, I guess we considered things like Luna and stuff to be blue chip 4 months ago, or maybe a little longer than
Yeah,
that now.
yeah,
Classic.
yeah.
Let that
I
be a
can't
lesson
believe
to you guys. It doesn't matter how crazy things are. We've never seen any coins that ever just stay on top forever. Everything rises and falls. Not literally
I
in
just
price necessarily, but in attention span and stuff.
I can't believe that Do Kwon still got the balls to fucking tweet. Like I'd be gone. I'd be too embarrassed.
Yeah, but it's a different type of person because they're it's just like the 3ACs guy. Like they know what they're doing, so it takes a different type of person than maybe you or I because they're straight up just like turning that off or it doesn't exist. The thing that tells them you should be embarrassed about this, this is wrong, any of those kind of thoughts don't occur to these people, or they're just able to turn them off because otherwise, yeah, how do you keep it together?
Basic past.
How do you be a perpetual liar and then just keep it together and keep lying to people all the time? Like, think of how exhausting that would be. I would just like always be scared that I was gonna slip up and say the wrong thing always because I don't even know what I lied about 2 weeks ago. you know, fucking incredible.
I'm just looking at the low time frame. I hate its price action. My problem is I can spot weakness in Bitcoin, but it won't play out until the ES has weakness. Um, it's really frustrating. Like I'm pretty sure Bitcoin rolls over at some point, but I've just got to you got to time it now with the ES and Nasdaq. It's like, what am I doing with my life?
Why do you guys come in the chat so much and ask always for thoughts on other people? You should make those decisions yourself over time. Because
Yeah,
if you actually,
yeah.
that's how the Suzus and the things in the world happen. Actually, that nobody wants to make those decisions themselves. They rely on other people's opinions, And you have like the snowball effect of somebody likes this guy, so I like him, so that guy's smart. Oh fuck, Joey thinks he's smart, so that guy's fucking rich. And then before you know it, somebody is built up to be this thing they're not, and then they scam your ass.
Yeah. And like, I don't even know who Big Chet is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I saw one about EXO, and like I'll just say like we like EXO. EXO's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great.
The Big Cheds guy, no idea.
No. Thoughts on the euro? I don't have any clue, do you?
No,
I don't
no, I'm not a
follow
currency
currency
guy.
stuff.
What I know right now is that right as the Fed's policy is like tightening, it is strengthening the dollar, which is weakening other currencies currently. But beyond that, I don't really know too much.
Mhm.
But it makes a lot of sense, and I'm pretty sure that the consensus is that this has happened before, and that normally what happens is the country that's doing the monetary policy changing will benefit early on. So like the dollar will benefit, but then eventually the dollar will get really hurt by this type of policy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But again, I don't actually know. I just gamble on charts and order flow. Easy.
I'm just glad the UK voted to leave Europe, to be honest. It's probably the smartest thing we've done in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know the tiniest bit about that kind of stuff, so but it's like the whole
Uh,
everybody the thing with the internet nowadays is we all go and speculate on other people's countries and talk about their policy and stuff. Like
well,
I'm
the
gonna
main
LARP as a
people that
Brit.
wanted us to stay in Europe, it was all based on like some flaky leftist views of like companionship and camaraderie and group sort of, group identity and but none of them really looked into the fact that the European Union's like on its deathbed, really. So I was actually so pleased with that vote. Pass. The European Union have been shooting themselves in the foot for a while.
Thoughts on the Indian rupee? Yeah, you're asking the wrong chat for that one for sure.
As long as I can pay for my dinners every day, that's all that matters to me.
Lads, what do you think between heat maps and coinalized charts? Which you prefer? Oh, we get the same questions all the time. So they're not even really comparable. Heat maps are showing you liquidity on a book, and you're seeing if it gets traded or not. Coinalyze is showing us things like open interest and delta and stuff. They're not really even the same thing. I don't believe in using heat maps personally.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not really.
I would rather just open up an order book and have a bunch of order books on my screen and see where liquidity is, and then watch prints to see it get traded into. Because the key thing is that liquidity doesn't matter unless it gets traded, and then it matters.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't really. Me personally, I've never found any edge in looking at order books. Like, I'm not sure what people can go on, like as far as trades go. Like the only time I've ever looked into order books is when I was trading the DOM, and really the only thing that was that important was sort of what's happening directly on at price.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
I'm not talking about some bid that's 5% away. I'm talking about the liquidity that is at the best bid, best ask within some ticks, right? We're not. That's what I'm talking about. It's only useful for really low time frame stuff, but that's how like use. And when I say the order book, I mean the DOM. I was just using order book because I knew that's the terminology that everyone would use. But that's the only way
yeah,
to see the shifts. You can see the low time frame like rotational shifts with off liquidity a lot of the time. And that's also how you can see the more advanced order types that are getting executed. Like I don't really read DOMs these days, but I used to be really active on like the BitMEX DOM, and you could see when you know icebergs and things were getting filled and those were like always reversion points, or like would be leading to reversion points. A lot of the times, I don't see this setup anymore, so I'll leak it. But one of the core setups I used to trade on BitMEX was the iceberg beyond the iceberg. So you'd see an initial berg get filled into a level, and then you would sweep through it, and you'd see another berg get filled after it at an extreme, which is normally off of people getting stopped out. Was how the dude was getting his fill, and that was your rotational play. But I haven't used that in a good year and a half.
Can you remember that period where you'd get like 10 or 15 1-minute candles with no price action and like massive volume? Can you remember those?
Yeah, that was some iceberg shit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's how I used to spot it. And you'd fill like millions, then suddenly you just move. I've got Duran Duran in my head still.
Nice.
That is amazing. Best concert I've been to for a while. Well,
Yeah, I'm
since
honestly jealous. That sounds like a sick show to be at, honestly.
Red Hot Chili Peppers the week before was pretty great.
Yeah, iconic.
I think it's just a better vibe in the park. 32 degrees, like, pretty, don't get much better.
I'm just reading through chat right now. They've been asking lots of questions. Asking the important ones, like what type of peanut butter do you like?
Oh, you know what? I'm more of an almond butter guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
I find peanuts a bit sweet.
Really?
Mm.
I don't ever, it's not like I just like eat peanut butter like straight. When I was a kid, I used to do that though. I'd like off of a spoon just eat peanut butter. But I think the main way I eat peanut butter now is in one of my shakes. I do like a banana peanut butter shake.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking delicious.
Well, I just got back a food intolerance test thing today. And apparently I can't have almonds or hazelnuts apparently. So
Oh, that's sad.
I was just looking
I love
like
almonds.
yeah, same. Always eaten almonds.
How did you
Well, it's
find that out? You
interesting.
went to the doc?
I did. Yeah, I did. Well, I did a. There's this one online actually. What's it called? I saw an advert for it. I think it's called Supply Life or something. Um, and you send them a blood test. They send you a kit and do a blood test, and then they give you all your intolerances, and then they do your meal plan and everything. Cool. But it's shit like oats, milk, rice. I can't have rice. Shit like that.
Rice, really? Well, actually,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, isn't it, like, been proven that, I'll preface this with I eat a lot of grains, but I'm pretty sure humans aren't really supposed to eat grains the way we do.
Not
Like,
some, because I think technically, based on like how we've developed them over the centuries, that they're technically genetically modified to where we can't really process them. I think,
sure.
uh, like corn and stuff.
Right. Literally 2/3 of my dinner last night was corn and rice. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm over here thinking I'm being healthy and I'm just eating fucking synthetic food. Yeah, because isn't it like, wait, it's not corn, it's bananas. I'm pretty sure that, like, the original bananas are basically extinct now. That,
Yeah,
like, the bananas that exist nowadays are, like, all fake. Which is sad because I love bananas. But, like, I'm pretty sure, somebody was telling me, it might have been Josh, like, the original banana, like, tasted like if you eat, like, a candy that's banana flavored, that the original banana actually tasted like that. Like it was ridiculously sweet.
interesting. Oh, we got a meeting today, CPI meeting or something. Are they going to cringe us
Yeah.
out with this price action for the rest of the day now?
Yeah. We do have CPI today.
I just can't. I'm just so bored of this shit. It's getting tiring.
It's definitely taken some getting used to having to pay attention to other markets and having to pay attention to like the news and stuff. It's not been ideal. But I'd probably make the argument that this is like an inevitability that like as our market becomes more grown up that we're just gonna, you know, get tied to everybody else because every other market moves in together in some fashion. So it only makes sense that we'll end up that way too. Sadly. So we just gotta, yeah. I'm sure there's surely gonna be uncorrelated periods in the future, whenever there's like, real demand in the future. But for
Yeah.
now, this is what we got. Oh, CPI already came out actually.
Oh. 1.1.
I actually have the calendar.
That sounds like. Or is that like right on the money?
Oh, those are the estimates, I'm pretty sure. Here, let me look at the
I thought so.
calendar. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Oh, some new 3AC bankruptcy news just dropped actually.
Yeah. Oh, again? Because he tweeted today, I'm pretty sure.
3AC bankruptcy. Judge grants provisional relief preventing debtors from transferring or disposing of assets. Oh, correction, asset within the US. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, there's not even a real FOMC meeting today, I'm pretty sure. It's just like a FOMC member speaking.
Oh yeah, it's Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. Because I'm on a stream, I thought it was Wednesday.
Oh, is it when? Oh, yeah, there is a real CPI index tomorrow. Correct. Yeah, yeah.
I usually stream Wednesdays.
I just started laughing because somebody commented on one of the tweets like, "Don't get banned again," and I was like, yeah, it's my stream this time. Let's definitely not get banned this time.
That was so weird. It was like the speed in which they brought my channel back's weird.
Well, they obviously know that they made a mistake, and it was probably an automated thing. It was probably not even like a human decided it. I bet it's some sort of algo triggered.
They didn't even have the decency to message me, say sorry or. What is a meme take on how long this bear market lasts, Sonic Wave?
Yeah, meme is in shorter or longer. There's not a meme at all to say that it takes a long time anymore.
I just don't understand why people think it's going to be over like next week.
We should word it like this: that like last time, everybody quit. Like everybody that came into crypto with me last cycle all quit, except for me. And everybody that I had to make friends within crypto because everybody I was friends with didn't want to do it anymore. So that's what you're looking for. And people capitulate a lot of times not just off price going down, but when if the market gets even more boring than it is, people are just going to start dropping like flies. And that's probably your sign from a social standpoint that you're nearing the end, or that the light is visible at the end of the tunnel is visible. But that could be a pretty long
Because
time still.
volatility is still quite good. I mean, it's not,
Yeah, we're
it's
trading in a
been
10% range
shitty.
right now.
Exactly. Like, I get some nice trades. Like, I can't complain really.
Like people should realize what was the volatility like in, when I was learning to trade Bitcoin. let's go back.
Wait till you guys hear agate and you're wondering if your fucking sound's working, and you're getting like 3 orders every 5 minutes. It's just like bloop.
Well, I guess in terms of volatility, this was the same, but the active market participants was like nothing.
Hang on,
Actually, I guess
that's
it was
one.
really bad over here in 2018. There you go.
But
The
and the
4%
annoyance of
range.
those ranges is how many moves you miss because you're not at your computer, you know?
Well, yeah.
Like you can't see it on the chart, but I remember just like you'll miss the one candle where you could have made money, and then you're stuck to
Indeed.
$100 range for the next 7 days.
Yeah, if you didn't
Right.
catch the illiquid move where everybody got squeezed out of their shorts or their longs and enter into that, then you missed your trade and you probably couldn't get a good trade for another couple of days.
Yeah, it's so brutal.
It's similar to that now, but nowhere near as bad. But I get the same similar vibes though.
I'm just concerned for people that are bullish that like it's still relatively easy and comfortable to short right now. Uh, there really isn't much short interest yet to get me nervous about shorting. It's a really uncrowded trade right now.
Did you think of the Juju Tetris Flow trader on your own? I'm pretty sure Charlie said that, right?
Yeah, Charlie's came up with it. Had to keep it. It's great. And High Sox Capital.
All right, what do you say we wrap it up here?
Sure.
We've been going for over an hour, so I'm an hour and 22 minutes in, or hour 25 actually. Well, thanks for coming on and helping entertain everybody. Appreciate it. Hope you guys
Pleasure,
gleaned
mate.
some insights, learned something hopefully. If anything you learned from us, it's that you need to fucking survive more than anything. I love saying that. I've been saying that for years to people now. As long as you don't just fucking die and get obliterated and have to go get a job, or just give up on your hopes and dreams, then you stand a chance, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
put the work in. It's not easy. Never will be.
Yeah. And make friends, but not for the purpose of copy trading and getting easy shit, but for learning together and support and shit like that.
Check out. There's this great group called Paragon Group that you should check out.
Thank you.
It's got
Cheers.
really good community vibes in there. Very friendly.
We try.
Oh wait, that's your group. Alright.
All right, man.
man.
I think I'm going to turn the stream off, but thanks for coming on. Cheers, everybody, for watching. Everyone, have a good week. Later, guys.